Buffalo, New York at KeyBank Center. The Buffalo Sabres will play host to the Ottawa Senators here in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Buffalo coming off of a thrilling 7-game series in which they walked off pretty much into the Eastern Conference Final. Ottawa has had a lot of time off in between the second round and this. After sweeping the Penguins, Ottawa has only lost one game on this postseason run. Doan a shot early, knocked away, and it goes in down low. Thompson back out to Dahlin. Tage Thompson inside, goes off his skate. Doan back into the corner. Thompson again, can't handle. Back out to Dahlin, who flips it wide of the net. Doan there, down low for Buffalo. Doan gets cross-checked, and an early penalty is going to be called here on Ottawa. They touch it, and 1 minute into this game, we're going to get a power play. Beebe and Zetterlund, the guilty party, an early penalty. And the Buffalo Sabres will go to the power play to start this game. So the question in these series always is, the Senators swept the Penguins. They've had a lot of time off in between games. Buffalo coming off of a 7-game series. Is the well-rested or the well-played doing better as Buffalo fires a shot in on net? Here's Tuck on the wing, couldn't get it off, and a bobbled puck into the slot. Benson back out to the point. Power with a one-timer, tipped in! Quinn out in front! And Buffalo off and running early here in Game 1. What a start for the Sabres. And that early question we just talked about, Buffalo coming off of a 7-game series, not much time in between games. And the Senators swept the Penguins, a lot of time in between games. And so far, advantage Buffalo. They take a 1-0 lead on the power play goal just minutes into this game. Jack Quinn with his 5th goal, tied for the team lead in the playoffs. And it's 1-0 Sabres in the blink of an eye to start this game. And Ottawa hasn't even had it in the offensive zone yet. Zucker out in front, another chance, it's in! But they wave it off! Oh my goodness, what a start! Let's take a look. They call goalie interference as he comes into the blue paint. He whiffed initially, makes contact, and then it rolls in. Omar gets hit by his own teammate. Norris was in there as well. And they do wave it off and confirm it, so no goal. But what a start here in Buffalo. A flare for the dramatic early. Back out to the point. Power lets it fly wide of the net. Rebound, Tuck whiffed. And Omar finds the puck. Ottawa just looking to get it out of the zone at this point. We played just about 2 minutes here in this opening period, and the entire 2 minutes has been on this side of the ice. Faceoff goes to Buffalo again. Power to the outside, and Zucker, one-timer, gloved down by Omar. 4 shots on goal within the first 2 minutes of play here for the Sabres. Faceoff back out to the point. Power fires. Score! Unbelievable start here in Buffalo tonight. Owen Power makes it 2-0. Ottawa has yet to get it across the red line. And Buffalo, on their 5th shot on goal within the first 2 minutes on Omar, make it 2-0 in the blink of an eye. What a start for the Sabres against Ottawa, who swept the Penguins and have only lost 1 game this entire postseason. This is unreal. What a start here in the Eastern Conference Finals. A minute 56 into this game, and it's already 2-0 for the Sabres. And for the first time, Ottawa brings it in on the offensive. Opposite side to Jensen, who squares it up. Knocked down by Luukkonen, who makes the save. And our first stoppage on this end of the ice. Face-off controlled by the Senators. Here's Clevin, a shot off a body, and it goes to the far side. Batherson now button hooks back. Here's Spence, gloved down by Luukkonen. No further play. Just underway here from Buffalo. Already a 2-0 lead for the Sabres. For those of you just joining us, the Sabres scored 2 goals within the first 2 minutes of play before Ottawa even brought it into this side of the ice. Here's Clevin, a shot knocked down, rebound. Goes below the goal line for Cousins. Back out to Spence, inside, score! Batherson in response, and we have 3 early goals within 3 minutes. It's 2-1 here in Buffalo. And we are set up for a shootout here tonight. Unbelievable start here at KeyBank Center in Buffalo to start this Eastern Conference final. 2-1 already, and we're barely 3 minutes into this game. Buffalo turns it over at the red line. Here's Cousins now. Drops it off for Clevin, a shot knocked down by Luukkonen. 3 minutes have gone by, and 3 goals have been scored. Quinn walks it into the zone out in front. Cutting to the net and picking it off is Clevin. Back out to center with Cousins. Cousins in wide, centering pass, drops it off for Spence off a skate out in front. McLeod gets there here for the Sabres. Walking out through center ice. McLeod weaves his way into the zone, turns it over to Spence. And back up to center comes the goal scorer, Batherson. Near side a bobble by Brady Tkachuk. Buffalo works it in their own end, and an errant pass will go all the way through for an icing call. 5 shots on goal already for either side. 3 goals have been scored in the first 4 minutes of play. Face-off controlled by Buffalo in their own end. Krebs takes a shoulder from Zub. He takes over here for Ottawa. Moreau takes a shoulder now in response. Metza now up the near boards. Flips it in deep around. First guy to it is Zetterlund off the bobble. And Stützle out through center and Sanderson. Sanderson in wide numbers for the Senators. Stützle, what a stop by Luukkonen. Faceoff sits on the dot, goes to the far corner. Pinto back out to the point and all the way through. Ullmark will settle it down behind the net. Just underway here from Buffalo. Fireworks to start this game. Another big hit, 2 of them behind the play. Pinto weaves his way in and sends it in on Luukkonen, who says no. And another stoppage. 14:35 to go, opening period. And a 2-1 Buffalo lead. Draw goes to Pinto. Here's Jensen to Chabot on the point. Tipped in on Luukkonen. Another stoppage on this Buffalo side. 14:28 to go in the period. Buffalo wins the draw that time. Tuch will walk it in through center. Tuch, the hero of Game 7 in round 2. Here he brings it in, and a save by Ullmark. What an effort by Tuch, and Ullmark makes an incredible stop to keep Buffalo off the board there. Faceoff sits on the dot. Halliday gains control for Ottawa, and they'll bring it out through center ice. Here's Zub. Flips it in deep. Buffalo back on it with Dahlin. Samuelson now here to Tuch. the Game 7 hero a couple nights ago. Brings it in, tipped around and controlled by Ottawa. And Perrin back out through center ice. He got tripped, that's a penalty. Perrin gets back on his feet. Out in front, Luukkonen snares. And a power play upcoming here for the Senators on a tripping call. Bowen Byram, the guilty party for the Sabres. So first power play of the game here for the Senators. Buffalo's already had one and they cashed in within the first minute of play. And now Ottawa looking for a response to tie this game at 2. Sanderson to the other side and Batherson. Inside pass knocked down, rebound out in front, controlled by Buffalo. And Greenway flips it up and out. Matheson defense back short-handed for Buffalo. Batherson survives. Ottawa gets it out through center ice and Cousins. Cousins dangles on his way in, drops it off on the trailer, and it's gloved down by Luukkonen. With a $1:25 left on the power play for the Senators. Ten shots on goal early for the Senators, 7 for Buffalo already. Been a hot start to this game here in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Quinn will walk it up short-handed, flip it in deep here for the Sabres. Just over a minute left on the power play here for Ottawa. Halliday poked to the far side by Samuelson. Buffalo works it in their own end. Krebs off the boards and out. Under a minute left on the man advantage here for Ottawa. Here's Halliday into the zone. Loses it into the slot. And Buffalo will turn back. Quinn will bring it up short-handed here for the Sabres. Back to Samuelson. Tipped in off a body. Short-handed attack there for Buffalo. Ottawa takes over. Perrin takes the shoulder and Pinto back out through center. Perrin outside to Halliday. Works in. Wide of the net. Rebound off the boards. Goes in wide. Quinn gains control here for Buffalo. Back out to center. And here's Samuelson. Mark as the penalty expires. So back to full strength, the Sabres. They're PK 1-0 in this game. 1 for 1, I should say, in this game. Zetterlund turns it over. Krebs now fires it off the post, and it stays out. Ottawa survives that turn. Here's Stützle. Stützle flips it into the corner. First guy to it is Byram for Buffalo. Sabres get it out, but immediately turn it over. Garreau now can't handle. Tage Thompson the defense. Byram now with a good stick. Here's the big fella, Tage Thompson, who scored the game-tying goal in Game 7 late in the third. This one in on net, denied, and it comes back out. Here's Gregg up the side. Centering pass picked off, a bobble into the slot, controlled by the Sabres. Benson weaves his way into the zone. Sanderson with a good poke. Down below the goal line now for Benson. Benson out in front, good stick by Spence. As we're over halfway through a fast-paced opening period here in Buffalo. Cousins into the zone for the Senators, loses it back out to the neutral zone. Here's Zetterlund back in. Zetterlund poked in on Luukkonen, who says no. 9:21 to go in the period. Face-off control by the Senators. Spits off the glove of Luukkonen. Brady Tkachuk battles in the corner, sends it off the side of the cage. Malenstein poked to the far side. Senators keep it in. Penalty's going to be called here. This one on Ottawa as it goes in back to the near side, and Tkachuk touches it to grant the whistle. And our second power play early in the game for the Sabres upcoming as Batherson gets called for that penalty right there. So Batherson goes to the penalty box. They call him for interference. And a power play upcoming for the Sabres, who are 1 for 1 on the man advantage in this game. Faceoff goes to Buffalo in the slot, and a great save by Ullmark. 5 seconds into the penalty and a stoppage. And Ullmark with cat-like reflexes to keep it out. Ottawa granted the faceoff this time. They flip it out of the zone. Dahlin can't handle. Zetterlund takes a shoulder, though. Zucker walks it back in. Here's Doan inside Norris with a bobble down low. Jensen jumps on it and sends it down the ice. Just over 8 minutes to go in the opening period. $1:22 to go on the power play. Here's Doan. Drops it off on a bobble. Zucker off a body. Jensen gains control. He sends it down into neutral ice. Norris back into the zone, pestered on his way in, and the Senators will clear it once more. Under a minute left on the power play now here for Buffalo. Dahlin pinned back behind his own net. Buffalo working it in their own end as we're under 40 seconds now on the penalty. Here's Dahlin. Dahlin trying to split defenders. He does! Denied off the blocker. Ottawa's on it. They work it back in their own end. And they send it down the length of the ice hard off the boards. Under 10 seconds left on the penalty. Final push for Buffalo. McLeod pestered, poked away by Ullmark. Spence gets knocked down. Here's Quinn down below the goal line. Penalty expires. And Ottawa kills off the power play. Senators back to full strength. Stützle poked on his way in. He gets knocked down by Tuck. Buffalo takes over on their own side. Sabres work it back in their own end. Just over 6 to play in the opening period. Tuck pestered by Klevin on his way in. Klevin up ahead to Batherson into the zone. Batherson a shot denied by Luukkonen. Faceoff goes out to the point. Malenstein gains control. Here come the Sabres. Malenstein sends it in, knocked down by Ullmark. Brady Tkachuk loses it in center. Buffalo works it back in. Here's Ostlund. Oh, he gets hammered. Ostlund slow to get up behind the play. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Cuts inside. Tkachuk. A shot denied by Luukkonen. And Greenway will walk it out through center. Sanderson takes it off his stick. And Tkachuk can't handle as we're under 5 to go in the period. Here's Benson. Pestered on his way in and down low. And a save by Ullmark. Faceoff comes in the Senators zone. Thompson wins the draw. Batherson with the intercept. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Poked on his way in. Sabres gain control. Big hit on Krebs as he feeds it up to Thompson. Crowd oohs and ahs on a huge hit. As Garreau now brings it up for the Senators and saved by Luukkonen. 4:02 left in the period. Let's take a look at that hit by Brady Tkachuk. Absolutely leveled. Oh, shoulder to chest. And Brady Tkachuk, one of the most physical guys in the National Hockey League, shows you why right there. Amadeo with a bobble right wing, controlled by McLeod for Buffalo. Samuelsson hit. McLeod walks it out through center ice. McLeod button hooks back. Here's Dahlin. Inside pass and denied by Ullmark on the shot by Quinn down on the doorstep. Faceoff goes back out to Dahlin. Here's Samuelsson, a shot tipped in on Ullmark. after we had all 3 goals within the first 3 minutes of play, we have been deadlocked. Here's Dahlin, broke his stick. Amadio will bring it back up. Dahlin back without a stick in his hand. Greg, a shot knocked down by Luukkonen. Amadio now back behind. Amadio out in front of the save by Luukkonen. 3:01 to go in the period. Norris will face off against Halliday here. Norris wins the draw. Under 3 minutes left, opening period. Been a good start here to game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Cousins backtracks in his own end. As the Senators work it out, here's Parent. Near side, Clevin. Clevin works it in, centering pass, picked off by Zucker. Sabres now work it in their own end. Kept in by Spence. Spence inside Halliday, couldn't get it off. Kept in at the line by Parent. Here's Spence on the wing, back to Parent. Other side, Clevin now, taken away by Tuck. And Tuck gets cut off on a breakaway chance. Under 2 minutes left in the opening period. 17 shots on goal for either side in a 2-1 game. Ostlund out in front, saved by Ullmark. Malenstein right there on the doorstep. Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Power squares it up. Denied by Ullmark. Just over 90 seconds to go in this opening period. Face-off again here in the Ottawa end. Benson whiffed on the shot. Zub takes it away. Here's Zetterlund. Zetterlund in wide, centering pass. McLeod picks it off. Back out to center is Benson. Benson brings it in wide, tried to square his body. Denied by Ullmark, and the rebound stopped by Ullmark on the second try. Face-off back out to the point. Byram, here it comes. In on Ullmark, who knocks it down. Under a minute left in the period. Floats in deep back behind the cage. Quinn out in front now. Good defense. McLeod circles back. Byram loses it to Zetterlund, and here come the Senators. Zetterlund brings it in wide on the far side. Zetterlund floats it in deep. Byram there for Buffalo. 30 seconds left. Here's Quinn. Quinn up to Byram, who can't handle. Back out to the point. Quinn. Benson now can't handle. Ottawa back on it. 10 seconds to go in the period. Here's Power up the side. 4 seconds left. Power drops it off his stick. Comes out wide. Byram denied at the buzzer. And a very entertaining first period has come and gone. After 1, it's 2-1 in favor of Buffalo. Start of the second period here in Buffalo, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Sabres have a 1-goal lead after that very entertaining opening period. Both teams scored all of the goals so far in this game within the first 3 minutes of puck drop. Then we were deadlocked ever since. 17 shots on goal in that opening period for Ottawa, 21 for Buffalo. Here's Doan, out in front of save. Krebs on the second try, can't get it off. Thompson now off a body in front, flags it down, sends it in, and just flung down all the way down the ice. Krebs will walk it in, pestered from behind. Here's Dahlin now. Dahlin cut off on his way in. Stützle gains control here for the Senators. Big hit on Stützle as he flips it in for an icing call. Just over a minute into the second period, and the physicality continues. As we take a look at Linus Ullmark, who makes a couple good saves on the doorstep. Then he just flung it down the length of the ice like he was playing air hockey. Faceoff sits on the dot. Stützle gains control for Ottawa. Back out to center and Garreau. Dangles on his way in, into the slot off a body. Power takes over here for Buffalo. Thompson gets laid out by Brady Tkachuk again. Tkachuk pestered, keeps it alive down low. Tkachuk back out to the point. Spence. Jensen straight away. Knocked down and saved by Luukkonen. Brady Tkachuk has been all over the place defensively for the Senators. Just huge hits all over the place. Face-off back out to the point. Chabot sends it in. Taken away by Byram in the slot. Benson pinned again by Brady Tkachuk. Turns back for the Senators. Tried to cut inside. Good defense by Byram. Here's McLeod. McLeod tried to cut inside. Good cutoff there by the Senators. McLeod down low. Quinn with a bobble. Back to McLeod. A shot. Knocked down. Rebound. Controlled by Jensen in the slot. Ottawa back out to center ice. Near side, Brady Tkachuk. Sends it in. Knocked down. Luukkonen. Rebound. Tkachuk. Back out off a skate. And Buffalo survives. Here comes Quinn. Benson now on the way. Trying to square it up. Benson back out to the point and all the way back out. Mensah chases it down here for the Sabres. Here's Quinn. Quinn pestered by Amadio on his way in. Off the boards and out to Cousins into the zone. Cousins flips it in deep. Bryson first guy to it for Buffalo. Far side Mensah gains control back out to center ice. Here's Tuck taken away by Cousins from behind. Around the boards it comes. Bryson takes a shoulder from Amadio. Pinned into the corner. Buffalo gains control. Here's Tuck, who scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 to move Buffalo on to this Eastern Conference Final. Perrin walks it out here for the Senators. Feeds it in around again. Bryson first guy to it for Buffalo. Greenway will walk it out of the zone for the Sabres. Here's Zucker. Zucker flips it in deep. Chabot first guy to it for the Senators. Back out to center ice. Turnover to Zucker now. Pinned on the boards. Ballenstein flips it in deep around the boards it comes. First guy to it over skates. Norris keeps it in at the line. Off a skate. Dahlin into the slot. Jensen picks it off. Amadio flips it in deep now. Long time without a whistle here in the second. We played nearly 6 minutes of scoreless hockey here in the second period. Here's Norris. Drops it off and an offside to Ballenstein. Garreau can't handle at the red line. Here's Tage Thompson. Thompson works in, denied. And Krebs now out in front zone. Samuelson now a shot, clubbed down by Ullmark. Just over 6 minutes gone by here in the second. No goals scored in the period so far. Still a 2-1 lead for the Sabres. Sabres scored their first 2 goals within the first 2 minutes of this game. Ottawa responded within the first 3. And we've been deadlocked at 2-1 ever since. Buffalo trying to keep it alive. Zub takes it away for Ottawa. Out to center and Stützle. Taken away by Dahlin now. Krebs picked off in center by Zetterlund. Garreau into the zone for the Senators. Floats to the far side. Zub out in front. Save Luukkonen. Rebound. Stopped. Luukkonen on the second try. And what a chance that was for the Senators. Buffalo can't control. Tkachuk out in front. Batherson stopped by Luukkonen right on the doorstep. Face off again here in the Buffalo end. Controlled by the Sabres. Buffalo trying to get it out, and they will. Here's Doan. Doan brings it in wide, looking for a center, cut off by Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk has been all over the place for the Senators defensively, making a big impact in this game. Greenway with the intercept. Zucker now into the zone. Pestered by Sanderson. Batherson back out. He has the lone goal of the game for the Senators thus far. Batherson whiffed on the shot into the slot, controlled by Buffalo. Here's Byram now. Greenway to Zucker into the zone. Zucker brings it in wide, centering pass, and a save. Goes to the far side. Sanderson pestered. Back in towards the net. Greenway back behind for Buffalo, gets cross-checked, and that's going to be a penalty. Buffalo's going to go to the power play here, up by 1 and a chance to extend their lead, cross-checking back behind the net. Jordan Spence, the guilty party. Easy call. It's right into the middle of the back of Greenway. And Jordan Spence goes to the box. And a man advantage here for the Sabres. They're 1 for 2 tonight on the power play. Buffalo wins the draw. Dahlin gloved down by Omar. 5 seconds into the penalty and a stoppage. Jensen flips it out of the zone here for the Senators. Buffalo chases it down with pressure. Quinn up ahead to Tuck, who can't handle. Keeps it alive, though. Tuck off his skate. Chabot flips it up and out. Norris back through center ice here for Buffalo. Brings it in wide. Norris, good stick by Chabot. Ottawa's on it, and they flip it down again. Just over a minute left on the power play here for Buffalo. Here's Tage Thompson. Cross ice to McLeod. McLeod poked away. Thompson will chase it down. And he feeds it to no man's land back out. Good penalty kill thus far for the Senators. Chabot is on it. Picked up by Norris now. Dahlin to Norris, who will play point. Norris brings it in wide. Centering pass. Nobody home. Chabot on it again for Ottawa. Stuzel now. Good block by Malenstein as he tried to flip it out of the zone. Malenstein keeps it in for a moment. And now it's flipped off the boards and out of the zone. Under 10 seconds on the man advantage here for the Sabres. And it floats back deep into the zone. Has to be knocked down by Luukkonen, who sprawls out, can't find it. And now he does. My goodness. Nearly a disaster for Luukkonen down low. Penalty expires. And Ottawa peels off the penalty. Senators win the draw. Clevin fires off a body. Metza, I believe, the shot block out in front. Norris takes a shoulder. Tkachuk delivers another hit. Brings it into the zone. Tkachuk pestered into the corner. Oh, another big hit on Tuck that time by Tkachuk. Keeps it alive out in front. Save Luukkonen. 8:42 to go in the period, and Brady Tkachuk continues to throw the shoulder around. Oh, just another shoulder. That time into the chest of Tuck. Mensah took a hit as well. 6 hits for Brady Tkachuk in this game. And he's got 2 straight right there. He has been a bulldozer here tonight. Senators win the draw, looking for the equalizer. Tkachuk back out, Clevin off a body. Good block out in front. Greenway now surrounded by Senators. Cousins turns back, turns it over to Greenway. Mensah gains control for Buffalo. Here's Malenstein. Malenstein to the trailer. Good poke by Spence. Cousins back through center. Near side Batherson. Batherson cuts inside. Picked up by Mensah. Tkachuk. Tried to send it in out in front. Loses it into the trapezoid. Tkachuk in on net. And Luukkonen finds it. Just under 8 to play in the second period. Still no goals scored in the second. We haven't had any goals scored since the 17-minute mark in the opening period. After a very quick start to this game, both teams scored 3 goals combined within the first 3 minutes of play. And we haven't had any goals since. We thought it was going to be a shootout, but it's turned into a defensive game ever since those 3 early goals. Faceoff sits on the dot, comes into the slot, and Luukkonen makes the save. Faceoff will come on the right wing here in the Buffalo end once more. Sits on the dot again. Buffalo gains control this time, and they'll bring it out. Doan stays on side, picked off by Cousins on the inside. And here's Perrin back the other way, feeds it in deep. 7 minutes to go in the period, still 2-1 Sabres. Thompson gets it out to Doan. Doan walks his way in. Pestered on his way through, Sanderson, good defense, turns it over, and Ullmark makes the stop. 6:37 to go in the period, and an excellent chance for the Sabres. And Ullmark holds his ground. Senators working in their own end, out with Stützle now. Senators looking for the equalizer. Zub to Sanderson. Inside, knocked away by Luukkonen. Zetterlund now. Back up top and all the way through. Ullmark feeds Zub. Picked off in center by McLeod. Garreau jumps back on it here for the Senators. Stützle flips it in deep. Under 6 to go in the period. Here's Samuelson. Benson now loses it as it floats in deep. Loose puck, watch out. Ullmark sprawls out to get it before McLeod can get there. 5:26 to go in the second period. Still 2-1 Buffalo. Faceoff goes to Ottawa. Here's Gregg. Gregg works it in down low, loses it as it flows to the near corner. Pinto Pindle on the boards. Dahlin gains control below the goal line. A turnover and a save by Luukkonen. Amadio right in there in the slot. Off the takeaway, tried to flip it in, and Luukkonen makes the stop again. Buffalo gains control. Here's Zucker out across the red line. Poked away to Byram. Now Norris a shot. Knocked down. Rebound goes back behind. Ottawa gains control. Pinto back through center ice. Pinto brings it in wide. Poked away by Power. Good defense. And Zucker gets it out. Near side Tuck. Tuck fires. Save. Rebound. Out in front. Denied. A third try. Ullmark finds the puck. Unbelievable on the doorstep. Ullmark keeps it out. 4:02 to go in the period. Face off in the Senators' end. Buffalo wins the draw. A shot goes high off the boards. Stays in play. Jensen gains control. Good knockdown by Tuck. Tuck inside. Zucker loses it on his way in. Batherson back out through center. Batherson inside. Tkachuk bobbles into the near side. Bryson is there, pinned to the boards by Brady Tkachuk. Bryson gets knocked down. That might be a penalty, and it is. Brady Tkachuk knocked him down. Norris will bring it up. And there's the whistle. Brady Tkachuk is going to get called for cross-checking. A guy who has had such a good game, delivering heavy blows all around, got a little greedy that time and lost control. Cross-checking the call on Brady Tkachuk, and a power play here for the Sabres, who are 1 for 3 tonight. And a chance to add on to their 1-goal lead. Ottawa wins the draw, but it'll kept in by Buffalo. Doan in down low. Back out to the point, and Norris lets it fly off a body. Stays in play. Sub flips it up and out. Under 3 minutes to go in the period. Tage Thompson chases it down here for the Sabres. Malenstein takes a shoulder. Into the zone is Krebs. Krebs inside, denied, and it goes to the far side. Cousins knocked down by Dahlin. And now Ottawa circles their own net. Senators will get it out of the zone. 1 minute to go on the man advantage now here for Buffalo. Malenstein cut off. Doan keeps it alive. Malenstein up ahead. Inside to Doan. Cuts into the slot. Fires off a body. And it never got through. Flipped down but kept in. Doan. Picked off by Amadio, who turns back and flips it down. Luukkonen will just ice the puck off the ricochet. 26 seconds to go on the power play. And we'll get a face-off here in the Sabres end with Ottawa shorthanded. Senators win the draw. Clevin, a shot blocked. And here come the Sabres. 2-on-1 back the other way. Benson to Tuck. Denied, and the rebound controlled by Clevin, who clears. Penalty will expire. Buffalo now 1 for 4 on the power play, and this should be an icing call. 1:03 left in the period. And Ottawa kills off another penalty. Faceoff comes back in the Buffalo end after the icing call. Sabres are on it. Power takes a shoulder. Big hit. Halliday inside. Denied Luukkonen. Cousins down low off the side of the cage. Power denied Cousins on Luukkonen. What a chance for Ottawa. 44 seconds left in the period, and Luukkonen keeps it out. Buffalo gains control in their own end. Out to center and Zucker. Zucker walks it in, loses control, comes in and knocked down back behind the net. On the far half wall, kept alive. Zucker off a body. Clevin with a bobble gets it out of harm's way. Kept in at the line by Tuck. Tuck to Bryson now. Final 10 seconds. Bryson into the corner, taken away. Spence Pindle on the boards, and time will expire here in the second. We have not had a goal since 17 minutes left in the first, and it's still 2-1 Buffalo after 2. Start of the third period here in Buffalo. It's been a good one here to start this Eastern Conference final. And we're still deadlocked at 2-1 in favor of Buffalo. The final 20 underway. Sit back and enjoy the finish of this game. Krebs flips it in deep to start the period here for Buffalo. Sanderson gets there first. Looks to the near half wall. Stuzel gains control. Stuzel brings it in wide, try to cut inside. Good defense by the Sabres. Sabres got to the Eastern Conference Final with a Game 7 win in dramatic fashion. Here's Doan out in front. Krebs denied, and it goes in down low. Back behind the net, Sanderson gains control. Dramatic fashion in Game 7 for Buffalo. The game-winning goal by Tuck with 17 seconds to go in regulation. Thompson outside to Krebs, a shot knocked down, and it goes to the corner. Ottawa got to this Eastern Conference Final with a sweep of the Penguins. They won that series 4-0. Good defense by Thompson. Benson brings it in wide, looking for Thompson. Works it into the slot, and it's poked away. Long time in between games for the Senators after their sweep compared to Buffalo, who win all 7 games. Gregg inside loses it. Into the corner it comes for Benson. Spence now on the point. Batherson loses it out wide. Buffalo gains control in their own end. They'll bring it out through center ice. Here's Power. Power brings it in wide, fires a shot saved by Ullmark out in front. Thompson! That might have hit the post. And Ullmark keeps it out. Here's Pinto through center. Batherson flips it in. Luukkonen will freeze. The Senators have only lost 1 game this postseason. Game way back in the first round. And Linus Ullmark doing his best job to keep Ottawa within 1. And Thompson's shot right here. Let's see if it hit the post. I thought it might have. It did. It hit the inside of the post and off the inside of Ullmark, who closed the gap very quickly. Buffalo works it back. Loses it on his way in. Jensen gains control here for the Senators. Here Brady Tkachuk to Batherson. Cousins now can't handle at the blue line. Norris turns back here for the Sabres. Norris cuts inside, nobody home. Loose puck into the slot, goes out wide. And the Senators will get it out of the zone. Batherson, the lone goal scorer in this game for the Senators, sends it in on Luukkonen, who swats it away. Norris now again up ahead. Norris inside, cuts in, and stays out. Good defense by Ottawa. Cousins now on the other end. Inside pass, and a swat away by Luukkonen. Tkachuk, one-timer, save, Luukkonen. No further play. Luukkonen has had a heck of a game here against Ottawa tonight. Gave up that one early goal within the first 3 minutes of this game, and nothing since has gotten through. Face off here in the Buffalo end. Controlled by the Senators. On the point, it's Clevin. Off a body in front into the slot, and Luukkonen makes another save. Senators on the attack, looking for the equalizer. Buffalo gains control of the draw. Malenstein will get it out of harm's way. Malenstein outside Greenway now. Greenway is shot, knocked down by Ullmark. Into the trapezoid, out in front. Off a body in front. Rebound into the slot. Ottawa gains control back out through center and Cousins. Cousins inside Halliday. A backhanded try, score! Deflects off of Luukkonen and in. And finally, the equalizer for the Senators. As Stephen Halliday puts it in to tie us at 2 apiece. Luukkonen got a piece of that one. He just couldn't find it. And it goes right under his blocker and in for the game-tying goal. And we've got a good one here in Game 1 from Buffalo tonight. Two-two our score. 5 minutes gone by in the third, and our first goal since the 17-minute mark in the first. Buffalo can't keep it in the zone. They backtrack. Benson pestered on the near side. Big hit back behind the play. Here's McLeod who brings it up for the Sabres. Cousins takes it away. Here's Halliday, the latest goal scorer. Cut off on his way in. Spence takes a hit. Here's Stützle. Pestered on his way in. Stützle right wing. Takes a shoulder, keeps it alive. Inside and saved. Luukkonen. Amadio got the loose change on the inside. Stephen Halliday's been all over the place here for the Senators. Scored the equalizing goal moments ago. Ending the scoring drought in this game. 5 minutes into the third period, and we're tied at 2 apiece. Benson loses it to Power, who gains control here for Buffalo. Sabres work it back through center ice. Here's Byram. Byram takes a shoulder, turns it over to Zetterlund. Senators are on it, back through center, and Chabot. Chabot brings it in wide, drops it off in the trailer. Luukkonen with a save. Buffalo wins the draws. They work it in their own end. Byram floats it out. Rebs gains control. Doan to Thompson. Back to Doan. Swatted away, and the rebound stopped by Ullmark. 13:01 to go, regulation time, and a good one here to start this series. Stützle wins the draw against Tage Thompson. Chabot up ahead to Zetterlund, who takes a hit. Bodies flying. Stützle outside Chabot. Off the side of the cage. Power gains control for Buffalo. And they'll work it out to Krebs. Here's Doan now. Doan pestered from behind by Jensen. Good defense. Cousins into the zone. Working with Amadio. Whiffed on it, and Byram gains control. Here's Tage Thompson. Thompson takes a shoulder. Brady Tkachuk there knocks him down. And another big hit by Brady Tkachuk. Cousins outside, Amadio pestered. And another turnover. Dahlin keeps it alive. Here come the Sabres. Dahlin pestered by Jensen, good defense. And now up ahead, Cousins. 2-on-1, back the other way. Cousins drops it off. Tkachuk denied off a body. Rebound Cousins. Back out to the point. Jensen lets it fly. Gloved down by Luukkonen. No further play. Brady Tkachuk continues to be a wrecking ball out there. Look at the shoulder. He delivers on Tage Thompson. Brady Tkachuk moves up the list. He's now in the top 10 on hits in the postseason across the NHL. Face-off control by the Senators. Sanderson on the point, off a skate. Zub now. Works it in, and denied by Luukkonen. Tuck back out to center, 11 minutes to go. Tuck loses it. Senators turn back. Amadio survives a hit. Works it into the slot. Score! What an effort by Amadio! And for the first time tonight, the Senators take the lead. Works it into the slot and just a snipe past Luukkonen. Second goal of the third period for the Senators, and they jump in front for the first time in this game. At the 9:15 mark in the third period, the Senators have their first lead of the night. Pinto turns back here for the Senators now. Drops it off to no man's land. Norris. Pestered but not out. Works it in. Wide of the net. Might have hit his skate out in front. Gregg now for the Senators. Near side Sanderson. Gregg now again. Turns it over to Metza. Bodies flying. Malenstein gains control. Malenstein loses it to Sanderson. Here he comes. Sanderson to Batherson with a bobble and a save by Luukkonen. In back behind the net, Batherson. Looking for a place to go off the post. Luukkonen finds the puck after it ricochets off the pipe. And David Perrin inches away from another goal for Ottawa. .9:34 to go. We're in the back half of the third period in a one-goal game. Spence fires, denied by Luukkonen. Halliday back out to the point. Clevin flips it in, picked off, and here comes Buffalo. Malenstein back 2-on-2. Malenstein survives a hit, goes off the side of the cage, and Malenstein denied. McLeod now. Pestered on the wing. McLeod floats it around the far half wall. Samuelson sends it in. Never got through, and it comes out to Cousins. Ottawa gains control in their own end, and now out with Perrin, who takes a shoulder. Spence now can't get it out. Chased down by Clevin. Senators turn it over right across the blue line. Ostlund back into the zone, pestered, stays alive, denied in the rebound, a fight for it, and Ottawa gets it out. Stützle now up ahead the other way, fires it on Luukkonen, who forks it wide. Stützle out in front, Spence stopped, rebound controlled by Luukkonen. 7:46 to go in the third. Faceoff goes to Buffalo. Off the boards to Benson. Benson takes a shoulder on his way in. Battle for it in the corner. Quinn escapes out to the point. Samuelson denied. And Ottawa takes control. Spence poked away by Dahlin. Works it back in here for Buffalo. Dahlin cuts inside. Never got it off, and it comes in on Omar. 7:04 to go, regulation time, and a one-goal Ottawa lead. Chabot takes a shoulder. Knocked down by Quinn. A turnover. McLeod denied by Omar. Senators survive that turnover. And now Cousins back the other way. Cousins inside. Batherson whiffed. Comes in on net. Batherson can't finish. And Luukkonen finds it and stops it with 6.5 to go. Face off in the Buffalo end. Controlled by the Senators. Jensen denied by Luukkonen. Thompson takes a shoulder, and again it's Brady Tkachuk. Another shoulder by Tkachuk. Doan loses it in down low. Brady Tkachuk has been all over the place, an absolute bulldozer. Here's Cousins back the other way for the Senators. Pestered on his way in as Byram takes it away. Tage Thompson, who has been hit and hit hard a lot in this game by Brady Tkachuk. Thompson looking for revenge. Score! Josh Doan with the equalizer, and we're tied at 3 in Buffalo. What a feed by Thompson, a saucer pass in, and Doan just keeps the momentum going and puts it in to tie the game in the third. First goal for Buffalo since they scored 2 goals within the first 2 minutes of play. And Tage Thompson gets a point on the assist. We mentioned the revenge aspect. He has been nailed by Brady Tkachuk specifically multiple times in this game. He gets a point on the assist, and we're tied again here late in the third. Doan tries to float it out. Dahlin feeds Zucker. Zucker keeps it alive. Looks into the slot, a turnover. Senators back the other way. We're under 5 to play. Cousins waits for his friends. Fires a shot, saved. And Dahlin controls the rebound, and he got knocked down. That's a penalty. Delayed penalty on Ottawa. They touch it, and there's the whistle. And in a tie game late in the third period, Buffalo's going to go to the power play. What up, the dude? Zub the guilty party. Let's take a look. Shaft of the stick right into the middle of the back. I'm going to be completely honest, the dude, I don't know what GSG means. Just going to be honest. Power play here for Buffalo. Ottawa gets it out of the zone to start the man advantage here for the Sabres. Benson inside off a body. Rebound controlled by Sanderson. Tuck gains control. Circles around. Tuck drops it off Thompson. Gloved down by Omark. Minute 35 left on the power play. Go Sens go. Got it. I'm not a fan of either team. I'm a neutral party. Doan sends it in off the blocker of Omark. Sanderson will flip it up and out. Buffalo scored on their very first power play of the game way back in the opening period. They're 1 for 4 here tonight. Chabot with a good play. Flips it down again. Josh Doan, the game-tying goal moments ago. Here's Norris. Norris brings it in wide down low now. Out in front, a save by Omark. Rebound stopped. Omark twice makes excellent saves to keep the game tied. Beautiful stops by Linus. .48 seconds to go on the man advantage. Here for the Sabres. Senators win the draw. Sanderson goes off his skate. Stays in the zone, and now Sanderson will bring it out and flip it around. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Errant pass goes all the way down. Senators win the race for the puck and flip it down off his own player and down the length of the ice. One final push on this penalty for Buffalo. Benson up top. Works it in. Drops it off for Byram. Squares it up. Score! Byram puts it in on the penalty. And Buffalo has the lead. What a time for a power play strike. 90.1 miles an hour past Omark, and the go-ahead goal for Buffalo puts them back on top, and more late-game magic for the Sabres. And the dude is in shambles. Zach Benson, his 11th point of the postseason. 2:46 to go. And Buffalo back on top, Remember, their last game was Game 7 to get to this round where they scored the go-ahead goal 17 seconds left in the game. And more late-game heroics for Buffalo. Now they just need to hang on. Batherson, good play. Good stick out in front. Into the slot of Bobble, and Buffalo will get it out. Malenstein. Trella, I'll explain it in just a moment. Tkachuk gains control here for Ottawa. We're under 2 minutes left in regulation. Cousins brings it up. Here's Zug. Net not empty yet. Here for the Senators. Greenway turns back here for Buffalo. Greenway. Out in front, a one-timer denied. Ostlund on the shot. Greenway denied by Omar to keep Ottawa alive. Yeah, I'm not very good with the pronunciations, the dude. I'm sorry. There's so many different pronunciations in the NHL. I can't keep track of them all. I got it. Thanks, guys. Sanderson walks it in. He loses it to Samuelson. Doan back the other way. 60 seconds left. Zetterlund takes it away. Senators got to empty their net at some point here, you would think. Stuzel brings it up. Net is still not empty for Ottawa. A shot gloved down by Luukkonen. And now they empty the net finally with 48 seconds left. Faceoff comes in the Buffalo end. Extra skater in for the Senators. Buffalo turns back towards the empty net. Josh Doan off the post, and it stays out. Loose puck into the slot. Senators gain control. Looking for the equalizer. Pinto whiffed on the shot, keeps it alive. Inside, denied. Rebound. Holiday stopped by Luukkonen. Samuelson gains control. Senators keep it alive in the zone. Right wing circle. Buffalo gains control. We're under 20 seconds to go. Loose puck out in front. Buffalo gains control. Krebs now. Eyeing the empty net. Fires. Bullseye! Peyton Krebs with the empty net strike. And Buffalo's going to take game 1 in the Eastern Conference Final. What a game from Buffalo. Final seconds tick down on this game. What a win tonight from the Sabres here at home. And Ottawa falls for just the second time in this postseason. They came in 8-1 after a sweep of the Penguins in round 2. And Buffalo takes game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They lead the series 1-0. And what a game this was. The go-ahead goal late in the third period. More late-game heroics for Buffalo. And they steal game 1 here at home from the Senators. Hand them their second loss of the postseason. And that's all she wrote for this game. What a start to the series. And if this is a sign of things to come, we're hoping for 7 games. Final score 5-3 Sabres. Get the win here at home. Appreciate it, the dude. Going back to your question, if you are still in here, what was your name? Silicone, I believe? Who answered that? Oh, no, it's Trella. Trella. Habs versus Canes? Yes. I think... Are you asking me who's going to win that game? Or that series, rather? If you're still in here, Trella, I think I don't think the Canes are going to win that series. I think the Habs win it. See ya, the dude. Have a good night. Appreciate you, the dude. So Trella, I made the playoff bracket as aligned with the real life playoff bracket, and then now I'm just going through it myself without having the real life results have any impact. So I started it out with the actual bracket that's actually happening in real life, but I'm playing through it as if it's my own playoff series. I'm not going off of what's in real life. So far, it's only got one team correct on each conference. I have Vegas in the Western Conference Finals, and I have Buffalo in the Eastern Conference Finals right now. But it's Stars versus Knights in the Western side in my bracket, and it's Ottawa and Buffalo on the Eastern side.